Hello, this is Bruce with Webucator. In this video, I'm going to show you a solution Arthur Olcott came up with that involved using index views on any core SQL Server edition. Arthur agreed to let us create this video showing a solution, which is available as an article on his blog at the URL shown here. Arthur provides sample code as part of his blog that you can use to reproduce this demonstration. In addition to the script provided by Arthur's blog, you'll need two editions of SQL for this demonstration. I've got a SQL Enterprise edition of SQL, which is using the default instance, in my case MIA SQL, and then I've got, you can see in my Object Explorer, another instance of SQL that I've named SQL Express, which is running the SQL Express version of SQL. I've also got open already two tabs. One is connected to my Express version, which is this tab that's currently in the foreground. And in the background tab, I've got a connection to my Enterprise edition of SQL. So just to verify the editions of SQL, I've got a little select add version command that I'm going to go ahead and execute. I'll execute it first on my Enterprise edition of SQL. Expand my column out a little bit. And then if I zoom in, we can see that sure enough I've got Enterprise edition of SQL running from that connection. And if I do the same thing over here on the Express edition, and expand my column, zoom in, we can see that I'm using the Express edition for this connection. So then I've already created two demo databases and I've named them demo, and I've already run the script provided by Arthur that created two tables, a My Order Details and a My Orders table, again within a database that I've named demo. And I've got the same database created on both the Enterprise edition of SQL and on the SQL Express. You can see the two tables there on my Express version. So what we'll do first is create a view. So I've got the create view, again the script was provided on Arthur's blog. I'm using the with schema binding option, and after I run this, I'm going to run it first without creating an indexed version of the view, just to see the query plan, and then we'll create an index for the view. So go ahead and create this view. So now I should see, if I were to look into my Object Explorer, if I refresh the view, I should see that I've got now a view on both my Express and my Enterprise edition. I'm going to go ahead and type in a select statement, and I want to go ahead and add my query plan. And now when I run this select statement with the view, we'll see that pretty much what we expect. It runs the query against both of the tables, so it's expanded the query, and again I can see that it's processing both tables independently. Before I create the index against the view on my Express edition of SQL, I'm going to connect to my Enterprise edition. I go ahead and create that same select statement here with my Enterprise edition of SQL. And I've already got my show query plan option selected. I'm going to go ahead and run the query and verify that I'm getting the same execution plan with my Enterprise edition of SQL that I got with my Express version of SQL. But now I'm going to go ahead and on the Enterprise edition create my index against my view, execute this code, and then we'll rerun that same query and verify what query plan we get. So there's my results, and when I switch to the execution plan, we can see that it's using the index that was created and not expanding the table. So I get a more efficient select statement by using this indexed view. However, if I do the same thing on my SQL Express version, so again verify down here that we're using SQL Express connection, and I'm going to create the index, highlight my code, run it, create my index, run my select statement again, and then when I switch to the execution plan, we can see that there's no change. It's still using the same execution plan as it was using before without the index view. So that's really the difference with the Express edition. It doesn't automatically use my index. It goes ahead and expands the tables. The Enterprise edition, SQL goes ahead and optimizes my select statements automatically and will use the index. But it doesn't mean I can't use the index. To get to use the index, I have to tell SQL that I don't want it to expand the tables to then take advantage of the index views. And I can do that by modifying my select statement and adding a no expand table hint to my query. So I'll add on to the end of my select a with and then a table hint, no expand. Rerun my query. There's my results. Switch to my execution plan, and I can see that it now is using my index, and I'm getting the same efficiency for my select statement as I'm getting with the Enterprise Edition. Again, the only difference is I have to include a table hint, no expand, to get that efficiency if I'm using a version of SQL other than Enterprise Edition. Thanks again to Arthur Olcott for the inspiration for this video. You can find more articles by Arthur at his blog at the address shown here. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.